Okay, there is a track day available at Bedford starting at 3 p.m. What we need to do before then is we need to put a cover on the rear driver's passenger space. We need to cover the transmission tunnel. We need to fit the battery straps. We need to fit the fuel tank straps, and we need to jerry rig a brake light. So a note for future builders, try and put a brake light provision in, maybe just a pressure switch on the brake lines or something, so that you can do track days and you don't have a mad panic like me. If we don't make it, there's still a track day potentially going on at Snetterton this week, so we can still make that one. So we're not completely out of options, but we are cutting it very fine. I will fit the rear bodywork as well, but I'm not going to put the diffuser on. I'm going to worry about that another time. Let's start with that. Get rid of those cable ties and put on some proper alley straps. That's the fuel tank strapped in. It's not going anywhere. The bodywork's on. But we have noticed the problem with the rack. It is moving because those bolts are so long, so we need to find a solution for that. Okay, so we're not going to make the track day. It's not because we're not ready, it's because we need brake lights, and we've tried to jerry rig this switch with a fog light bought from Halfords, but there's just no way of doing it because of the way this is designed. What we really need is a pressure transducer, which will be sorted after Silverstone. There's still potentially a track day on Thursday at Snetterton. Other than that, what I think we're going to do is go to the rolling road if we can, if we can find somewhere open locally, and at least get the drivetrain and the engine working properly, so we can focus on the chassis at Silverstone, which is probably going to turn into an extended test. But we're still planning on being there. Another issue we've sort of found with the car, as Greg works away, is that this rear end is basically at about 55mm ride height. There's no droop available on the springs. The way to adjust this on this car would normally be to shorten this. It's hard to see because of the light, but you can see that thing going in there. It's probably a bit easier to see on this side. You can see this beam here. If you were to shorten that, it would pull this section down and lower the height, and so we could adjust for some droop. But they're at the shortest distance possible. So I think over the next couple of days, I'm going to try and lengthen these points here. Oh, that one's loose. Lengthen these points here to try and at least bring this out and drop the droop down. Or I may just take them off and shorten them myself. Take 1.5 inches or 2 out of them. That's all we can do really. But since Greg's here, we're going to try and get the seat made, the foam seat, because that's one of the jobs I can't do on my own. So we'll do that and try and do as much paneling as we can and the bodywork done. And then it's just odds and ends that I need to do for the race meeting, like fire extinguisher, safety bits, catch tank, all those bits and bobs. But yeah, we'll be ready. We're just not going to be race fit, so to speak. We are just making a space so we can make the seat mould. Well, I did buy some jugs to measure in this seat foam, but as per recommendation, we're going to go with a 5 litre bottle with the top chopped off. So ready for my foam bath. Feel it bubbling away. We're trying to get the diffuser on, and the diff there is basically stopping us from getting up as far as we want to go. So I really don't want to cut a hole in the diffuser, but we're going to have to, just to give it clearance. You wouldn't notice that, would you? Well, that was a proper battle to get the diffuser on, but it's on. And now let's get the rear clamshell, and I think we'll be done for today. When the rear clamshell is on, the rear looks nice. The engine cover is now on, but that still needs to be sort of fixed in place. Every other panel is now fixed in place, but I've never actually seen the car with all the panels on. We've got the bodywork finished. We've only got to do one more panel, which is the engine cover there. That just needs to be clipped into place. We've still got a long list of tasks to get ready for Saturday, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to make a track day. Javelin at Snetton is on Thursday, but we need brake lights there as well. And thanks to Greg for his help today. Today's task is to get the tin work done around the transmission tunnel. The left hand side I'm basically going to reuse. So the more challenging part is the top, because I've modified that, and the side I can reuse the panel and just cut it down. So that shouldn't be too difficult, and then I need to do the rear seat back, which is what I'm going to start on first. So there's my template, and I'm just going to cut it out of this aluminium. You can see I've marked that up. This is only grade 1001 and 1000 aluminium, so it's only cheap stuff. It's not structural at all. But yeah, let's cut it out and see if we can get anywhere close to that. Well, that's not too bad. Let's do this side. So I've just popped a couple of clecos in just to show where this is and guide it in and show where I've got to cut. So the original chassis ends here, so we can take it up to there. I've got a bolt through there, so I need to trim some space for that hole. That's fine. And those rivets at the bottom should go straight back in pretty much. But yeah, at the back here, obviously I need to trim down there and trim back here, but I need to think about how I'm going to connect this panel to the top panel. It may be better just to fold it over this here, fold it over there really. Right, I'm going to see if I can bend that along there. Right, that'll do. Right, I just need to modify this top cover and hopefully it does what I need it to do. And here's the top cover. So I need to try and sort of bend it somewhere here and bring it down and see what I've got left. Okay, so I've knocked up some cardboard that I now need to cut out in aluminium and try and get that complete today. I need to put some edging on there as well so I don't cut myself. I've got some stuff from aluminium sheet that got delivered, so I think I'll just put that on for now. Well, there's the cardboard in the background. There's my crafted work in front. It's in and it works. Those edges are not looking very inviting, but it might be better to actually invert that top panel so it's underneath the other two panels. Let me just do a bit more bending to make this fit a bit better, and then invert the panels and see if that works better. That looks a lot better that way around. Obviously there's some sharp edges there, so the aluminium got delivered with this sort of blue edging, so I know it's not a permanent solution, but at least it means I'm not going to, serrate my hands or arms on the edges of this aluminium when I climb in it. I'm going to drill some holes, pop some bolts in so it's all one thing, and then and also put this blue edging in along this edge here and that edge there, and that should give me at least, my arms at least some level of protection from any cuts that I might get from that sharp aluminium, all those aluminium edges.